So 7 more states have recently joined the ban on EBT SNAP recipients, also known as food stamps, welfare, to be able to buy junk food at grocery stores and your local party store, what have you, right? And so let's talk about that, okay? Come on, Steps. All right, so now the welfare queens, as we call them. All right. And for those who don't know, the welfare queen is usually the single mother who has multiple kids by multiple different men and who live on welfare their whole lives. And so they depend on the government to take care of them, pay for their housing, pay for their kids' food, and so on. And so we refer lovingly to these particular kind of women to be welfare queens. Now, it's not just limited to women, okay? There are a lot of men who are on welfare and live off the system as well. But, I can only speak for the government assistance here in my state of Michigan. I don't know, each state has its own different policies and stuff like that. But here in Michigan, it's known as a woman's state, meaning that all you have to do is have a baby out of wedlock with just some dude who's foolish enough to get a girl pregnant. Then now he has to pay child support, and the government will give her Section 8 housing and food stamps and medical and everything else she'll need to live a comfortable, lazy life, right? Here in my beautiful state of Michigan. And if we remember, not too long ago, a few months past, when the Democrats refused to vote to open the government, the food stamp program was beginning to run out of money until the Democrats finally voted to reopen the government, okay, and to start funding the SNAP benefits again. Okay, so you remember the meltdown behind that, right? All the welfare queens were threatening to start looting, and one of the most iconic videos that we can still watch to this day, if you want a good laugh, is this beautiful black welfare queen who probably weighs close to 300 pounds, talking about that she was starving. We got the fattest poor people in the world. And so if you ever want a good laugh, just go YouTube, search that one out, okay? Just put fat black woman crying that she's starving to death, okay? All right, so anyway, the Democrats finally voted to open up the government, and the food stamp benefits were funded, and so all these beautiful welfare queens was able to go shopping and spend their $1,000 on candy and pop and chips for their 6 kids, right? And so we saw the videos of them celebrating them, being able to go buy all the junk food, and All right, so 7 more states recently have adopted no more junk food for those on SNAP. I think this is a fantastic idea. It should have been like that. Personally, they should have a section in the grocery store that's strictly for EBT, right? And, there's no chips and pop and candy and donuts and all that junk food. It's just straight basics, right? Eggs, milk, cheese, a certain limited amount of meat, and there you go, right? That's what you get. Oh, that right there would cut down on so much fraud, so much abuse. Just that alone, just making a simple change like that, where if you can only buy a certain product of food, and even at a certain limit, if you want to just really get technical about it, that would absolutely cut down on a lot of fraud, a lot of abuse, for sure. And it would cut down a lot of obesity, right? Because look at mostly those who are on welfare. They're overweight, their children are obese, right? Because they don't do nothing but sit around. and eat junk food all day, every day, and wait for the next month to come around and get the next $1,000 in free food, right? So cutting down on junk food, I think, is the wisest move the government can do. Personally, myself, now I wouldn't say do away with the program altogether, right? You know, that's not necessarily fair, because there are a lot of people that need those benefits, okay? That's just a fact of life, okay? But not being able to buy junk food, that's a good start right there. And so if you want to have a good laugh, just go online. You'll see all the welfare queens crashing out about not being able to buy their 6 kids junk food, right? And it's such a sad state to see grown folks acting like this, okay? I think this is a great thing. And then it cuts down on health issues, you know. I mean, by allowing people to buy junk food, pop and chips and stuff like that, then all they do is sit around. They're not working. They're not doing nothing but sitting around and eating, right? And gaining, getting fat, okay, obese. Kids are 10, 12 years old weighing 200-300 pounds. That's ridiculous. And then now you're gonna be a strain on the medical system. So now you're a double burden, right? And so we need to. I'm glad this is happening here. I know my state hasn't adopted it yet. I pray this becomes a national thing across the board. Look at him. He don't want to keep up. Samson! Samson! This is being bad. Come on, man. So yeah, it's a good thing. I'm glad this is happening. But yeah, they need to adopt it where grocery stores, party stores, whatever, have just a certain section where you can only use your EBT and buy those items. You know, that wouldn't be hard to implement. And that would absolutely cut down on a lot of fraud and abuse, for sure. It'd probably cut down a lot of people even wanting to get food stamps, knowing that, you know, it can only go so far and we'll only get them so much, you know. So I like this thing they're doing. It should become national for sure. And, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit this. I mean, this affects me too, you know, but trust me, I qualify for EBT, SNAP. I qualify 10 different ways, right? And I don't abuse it at all. And I'm very grateful for the fact that I get these benefits, you know. But like I said, here in the state of Michigan, that's all they will give me, okay? I don't get money every month and housing and everything else that they'll give women who are having children out of wedlock. You know, all a woman got to do in Michigan is just get pregnant and she'll be set for the rest of her life. And for the fellas, the most you'll get is some food stamps. But for somebody like me, that is more than enough. And I'm grateful, right? I'm thankful. I don't buy junk food. You know, I stock up. You know, so if ever I'm shut off or the system goes down or whatever, I have a few months worth of food already put up. So. And you know, I try to be conscious of that, because it's not just me that I have to look out for. You know, thankfully I don't have any children, right? But I do have my animals, and they are like my children, so I have to take care of them with the little that I get, all right? But you'll never see me complaining at all. I'm so grateful and thankful just for the very breath in my lungs, right? So praise the Lord for that. All right, I'll leave it there. It's nice out here. It's cold, though. It's nice and sunny. You wouldn't think it's as cold as it is, but it is. It's freezing out here. All right, I'll leave it there. If you haven't already, hit me with a subscribe, a like, and a comment. I welcome it all. Until next time. Merry Christmas, everybody.